What's up, everyone, and welcome. I'm thrilled you're here because today we're diving into intermittent fasting. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Fasting? Isn't that just starving yourself? And that's exactly why we're making this video. There's a lot of information and misinformation out there, and it can feel overwhelming. My goal today is to cut through that noise. Welcome to our guide on intermittent fasting for dummies. Today we'll break down all the essential knowledge you need to get started. Think of this as your foundational course, your Intermittent Fasting 101. We'll cover what it actually means to intermittently fast, explore the different popular methods you might have heard about, and importantly, discuss the potential benefits that research suggests it can offer. But we won't stop there. We'll also walk through how you can begin your own journey if you decide it's right for you, and crucially, highlight some common pitfalls to watch out for. It's all about making informed decisions for your health, and that's what we're here to help you do. Before we jump in, remember, I'm here to provide information and share what the science says, but this isn't a substitute for personalized medical advice. It's always, and I mean always, a good idea to chat with your own doctor or a registered dietitian before making any significant changes to your diet or lifestyle, especially if you have any underlying health conditions. They know your specific situation best. So grab a calorie-free drink, get comfortable, and let's explore the world of intermittent fasting together. Are you ready to learn? Let's get into it. So let's start with the absolute basics. What exactly is intermittent fasting? It sounds a bit technical, maybe even a little intimidating, but the core concept is actually quite straightforward. Unlike traditional diets that primarily focus on what foods you should or shouldn't eat, low carb, high protein, keto, paleo, the list goes on, intermittent fasting, or IF, as it's often called, is all about when you eat. It's an eating pattern that cycles between periods of voluntary eating and periods of voluntary fasting. During the fasting periods, you typically consume no calories or very few calories, depending on the specific approach. Then, during your eating windows, you resume your normal food intake. It's less a diet in the restrictive sense and more of a structured approach to meal timing. The beauty, and sometimes the confusion, of intermittent fasting lies in its flexibility and the fact that it doesn't inherently prescribe which specific foods you must consume. Of course, for overall health, we always advocate for a balanced, nutrient-dense diet during your eating periods, but the IF protocol itself is focused on the timing. Think of it like this. For millennia, our ancestors didn't have 24/7 access to grocery stores or food delivery apps. They naturally experienced periods of feast and famine. Intermittent fasting, in a way, mimics these ancestral eating patterns, giving our bodies a regular break from constant digestion and nutrient processing. It's about intentionally creating these breaks in a controlled and planned manner within our modern lifestyles. It's crucial to understand that this isn't about prolonged starvation or deprivation in an unhealthy way. It's a structured plan. The fasting periods are typically shorter and more regular than, say, a medically supervised fast for a specific therapeutic reason. The goal is to tap into some of the body's natural processes that get activated when we're not constantly in a fed state. We're essentially giving our digestive system some downtime, and as we'll explore later, this can have some interesting and potentially beneficial effects on our metabolism and overall health. So, to recap, it's not about food restriction in terms of types of food, but rather a conscious decision about when to eat and when to abstain. Now that we have a foundational understanding of what intermittent fasting is, let's delve into some of the most common ways people actually implement it. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, and different methods will suit different lifestyles, preferences, and even personalities. One of the most popular methods you've probably heard about is the 16-8 method, sometimes called the Lienganes protocol. This involves fasting for 16 hours each day and restricting your eating to an 8-hour window. For example, you might finish dinner by 8 p.m. and then not eat again until 12 p.m. the next day. Many people find this relatively easy to adapt to, as a significant portion of the fasting period occurs while they're asleep. It essentially means skipping breakfast or pushing it later into the day. Another well-known approach is the 5-2 diet. This method involves eating normally for 5 days of the week, while on the other 2 non-consecutive days you restrict your calorie intake significantly, typically to around 500 to 600 calories. So you might eat as you usually do from Saturday to Wednesday, for instance, and then on Thursday and Sunday you'd consume only those very low-calorie meals. The fasting days aren't complete fasts from all food, but rather a drastic reduction in energy intake. This allows for more flexibility on most days, which appeals to some, while others might find the very low-calorie days quite challenging to manage hunger and energy levels. Then there's the eat-stop-eat method, which involves a 24-hour fast once or twice a week. For example, you might finish dinner at 7 p.m. on a Monday and then not eat again until 7 p.m. on Tuesday. This is a full day of no-calorie intake. This method can be more intense than the 16-8, but offers complete freedom on non-fasting days. Other variations exist too, like alternate day fasting, fasting every other day, or warrior-style diets with very short eating windows. Each of these methods has its own unique rhythm and set of rules for the fasting and eating periods, and the key is finding one that you can adhere to consistently and safely if you choose to try IF. Chapter 3. Why bother? Unpacking the potential benefits of IF. Okay, so we know what intermittent fasting is and the different ways to do it. But the big question is, would someone choose to incorporate this into their life? What are the potential upsides? One of the most talked about benefits, and often the primary motivator for many, is weight loss. By restricting your eating windows, you may naturally consume fewer calories overall, even if you're not consciously dieting during your eating periods. Furthermore, fasting can shift your body towards burning fat for energy once it has depleted its readily available glucose stores. This metabolic switch can be quite effective for reducing body fat, particularly when combined with a sensible diet. Beyond weight management, intermittent fasting has been shown to have several positive impacts on metabolic health. Studies suggest it can improve insulin sensitivity, which is crucial for regulating blood sugar levels and can reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. When you're constantly eating, your insulin levels remain elevated. Fasting periods allow insulin levels to drop, giving your cells a break and potentially making them more responsive to insulin when you do eat. It can also lead to reductions in blood pressure, improvements in cholesterol profiles, like lowering LDL, the bad cholesterol, and a decrease in markers of oxidative stress and inflammation, which are underlying factors in many chronic diseases. But the potential benefits don't stop at metabolism. Emerging research indicates that intermittent fasting might even play a role in cellular repair processes, like autophagy. Autophagy is like your body's internal housekeeping system, where cells remove damaged components and regenerate newer, healthier ones. Fasting seems to stimulate this process. There's also some evidence suggesting benefits for brain health, potentially protecting against neurodegenerative diseases, and some animal studies even hint at an extended lifespan. Though more human research is definitely needed in these areas, it's a fascinating field, and while it's not a magic bullet, the range of potential physiological improvements is certainly compelling for researchers and health enthusiasts alike. Chapter 4. Getting started, your first steps on the IF journey. If, after learning about intermittent fasting, you're curious and thinking this might be something you want to explore, it's vital to approach it thoughtfully and safely. The first, and I cannot stress this enough, step is to consult with your healthcare provider. This is particularly important if you have any pre-existing medical conditions such as diabetes, heart issues, or a history of eating disorders, or if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking any medications. Your doctor can help you determine if IF is appropriate for you and guide you on how to proceed safely, considering your individual health profile. They are your primary partner in health. Once you've got the green light, the next step is to choose a method that seems like it would best fit your lifestyle and preferences. Don't just jump into the most extreme version you've read about. For many, the 16-8 method is often recommended as a good starting point because it's generally more manageable. You could begin by simply pushing your breakfast back by an hour or two for a few days, then gradually extend that fasting window until you reach the 16-hour mark. The key here is adaptation. Your body needs time to adjust to a new eating schedule, so don't try to go from 0 to hero overnight. Listen to your body's signals, hunger, energy levels, mood. During your fasting periods, staying hydrated is absolutely crucial. Water, black coffee, and unsweetened tea are generally fine and can help manage hunger pangs. Avoid sugary drinks or anything with calories, as that will break your fast. When your eating window opens, focus on nutrient-dense foods. Don't use if as an excuse to binge on unhealthy processed foods. Aim for a balanced intake of protein, healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, and plenty of fruits and vegetables to ensure you're getting all the micronutrients your body needs. And remember, consistency is more important than perfection, especially when you're starting out. Chapter 5: Navigating the Path: Common Mistakes to Sidestep. As with any new health endeavor, there are some common pitfalls people can fall into when starting intermittent fasting. Being aware of these can help you navigate your journey more smoothly and effectively. One of the most frequent mistakes is overcompensating during eating windows. Some people think that because they've fasted, they now have a license to eat anything and everything in sight, often leading to overconsumption of calories, particularly from less healthy processed foods. This can negate many of the potential benefits, especially if weight management is a goal. Remember, the quality of your food still matters immensely, even with timed eating. Another common oversight is not drinking enough water. Dehydration can be easily mistaken for hunger, and it can also lead to headaches, fatigue, and constipation, especially when you're adjusting to fasting. Make a conscious effort to sip water consistently throughout your fasting period, and even during your eating window. Also, ensure you're getting enough electrolytes, especially if you're active or live in a hot climate. Sometimes people also don't get enough essential nutrients because they're either not eating a balanced diet during their window, or their window is too restrictive for their needs. Prioritize whole foods and a variety of them. Finally, a big mistake is being impatient or not listening to your body. Intermittent fasting is a stressor on the body, albeit often a beneficial one, hormesis. However, your body needs time to adapt. You might feel hungry, a bit irritable, or have lower energy levels initially. This is often temporary, but if these feelings are severe or persist, it might mean the chosen method isn't right for you, or you need to adjust your approach. Don't ignore significant discomfort or negative side effects. Intermittent fasting should enhance your well-being, not detract from it. Be kind to yourself, allow for an adjustment period, and don't be afraid to modify your plan as needed. And there you have it. A comprehensive look at intermittent fasting, broken down for beginners. We've covered what it is, the different types you might encounter, the exciting potential benefits that science is uncovering, how to cautiously get started, and some common mistakes to keep an eye out for. My hope is that this information empowers you to make more informed decisions about whether intermittent fasting is a tool that could fit into your personal health and wellness toolkit. It's a fascinating area, and like anything in health, it's about finding what works sustainably and beneficially for as an individual. Thanks for watching. We hope this guide helps you get started with intermittent fasting if you choose to explore it further. Remember, the journey to better health is a marathon, not a sprint, and knowledge is your best companion along the way. We've tried to lay a solid foundation for you today, but always continue to learn and, most importantly, listen to your own body and consult with healthcare professionals for personalized advice. Your health is your most valuable asset, so treat it with the care and attention it deserves. If you found this video helpful and want to see more content like this, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more health tips and guides. And as always, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you tried intermittent fasting? What are your experiences, or what questions do you still have? Let's continue the conversation. Stay healthy, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.